Hi everyone, welcome to my coding tour. Today I will show you my Bookmark Manager project and explain in detail how I built it using HTML and CSS. I will tell you why every line is important, what would break if I removed it, and how everything works together. At the very top, I wrote those to HTML. I wrote this because it tells the browser to use HTML. Without it, some modern HTML features like semantic tags might not work correctly. Body and layout. In the body, I created a div class layout. I wrote this because I want to organize my page into two main parts, a sidebar and the main content. Without this wrapper, I couldn't use Fixbox easily, and the sidebar and content would not line up properly. Sidebar. Inside class sidebar, I put the logo first, div class logo with an image and text bookmark manager. I wrote this so users immediately know what the app is. Without it, the sidebar would feel empty and confusing. Next is nav with two A links, home and archived. I added class active to home. I wrote this because the user needs to see which page they are on. Without active, the navigation is unclear. After navigation, I added h4, text 5, h4, and the all class tags with li for each tag, like A, CSS, design, etc. I wrote this because tags let users filter bookmarks. Each tag will also have a small square before it using CSS before. Without this, text would be plain text, which is visually boring. Main content. The main content is inside main class content. First, I added a top bar div class top bar with an input for searching bookmarks. I wrote this so users can find bookmarks by title. Without it, users would have to scroll endlessly. Add bookmark button. I wrote this so users can add bookmarks. Without it, the page wouldn't be interactive. An icon image for setting or user actions. I wrote this to add visual clarity. Below the top bar, there is H2 all bookmarks, H2. I wrote this to label the section clearly. Without headings, the page structure is confusing for both users and the accessibility tools. Cards. The cards are inside div class cards. I used CSS grid to organize them into 3 columns. Each card div class card has div class card photo with the website image, title H3 and an icon. I read this because aligning them horizontally improves readability. Without this, the layout would like messy. HR as a horizontal line. I read this to visually separate the photo and the title from the description. Without it, cards feel crowded. P. For the description, I wrote this so users understand the content. Without it, the card is meaningless. Div class labels. With span text like learning, CSS, tools, I wrote this so users can quickly see categories. Without these labels, users wouldn't know what kind of bookmark it is. I repeated this structure for multiple bookmarks to keep the UI consistent and easy to read. CSS deep dive, global styles at the top of web. CSS, I wrote margin 0, padding 0, box sizing, border box. I wrote this because different browsers have default spacing. Without this, the page would look inconsistent. I also set font family Arial sans serif. I wrote this because it makes text readable and clean. Body and layout. Body background gives a soft background. I wrote this to take the page look calm. Layout display flags, mean height 100 VH is critical. I wrote this to place sidebar and content side by side. Without flags, the sidebar would stack above the main content. The sidebar has wide 250 pixels and the background white. I wrote this to separate it visually. Navigation links sidebar nav I have padding, color and the border radius. I wrote this to make links clickable and nice looking. The active class highlights the current page. Without it, users wouldn't know their location. Text use text.ly before to create small squares. I wrote this to visually distinguish text. Without it, they would be boring text. Top bar uses flex to align the input button and icon. The input has padding and border radius. The button has background, color, and rounded corners. Without flex, elements will stack vertically and break the design. Without styling, the top bar looks ugly and confusing. Cards and grid. Cards use grid with grid template columns. Repeats 3, 1 fair and gap 20 pixels. I wrote this to organize cards neatly. Without grids, cards would overlap or be misaligned. Each card has padding, white background, and a border radius. I wrote this so each card looks like a real object. Card photos uses flex to align image, title, and icon horizontally. Without it, elements look messy. Labels span half background, padding, and the border radius. I wrote this to make text visually clear. Without it, users would not see categorized at a glance. Every single line of this code is important. HTML creates the structure and ensuring accessibility. Without proper elements, the page wouldn't work or be understandable.